Hey everyone, welcome back to the Twim Show. This is episode 103 and I'm your host Sajid Islam. Today I'll be going over the notable news and updates from the week of April 4, 2022. So today, first off, we have an announcement from Meta, aka Facebook. The Meta has canceled their F8 annual developers conference. This is the second year they're canceling it. Obviously, last year they had to cancel it because of the pandemic. Now this year they came out and they says, well, you know what, we will not hold our developer conference while we look internally in terms of what we are going to do. Now, keep in mind, they will still be holding a conversion business messaging event on May 19th. This is something we covered in our previous episode. So that's a good thing. Meta is actually proceeding with that event. And also, you know, they last year they did this event called Connect Conference, which is where they announced the rebranding of Facebook into Meta. So maybe, who knows, they will announce a lot of products into, or a lot of announcements, a lot of stuff for the, in the Connect Conference. Now, why am I covering this? It's just that, you know, we continuously cover things like what's happening, which Pinterest had their platform conference. So the TikTok has announced it. So, you know, it's good to have this kind of events because this gives an insight of what's to come for that platform. But at right now, there's nothing for you to do, but I wanted to bring it up so that you stay in the loop. Okay, next up, in the Meta Facebook world, Facebook has decided that they are going to allow third-party apps to share directly into Reels. Previously, what happened was, without this feature, was that, you know, say you did a video editing in Canva. Now, from there, you would have to download the app, download the video, and then re-upload it back into Facebook Reels. Now, that's 3 or 4 steps. And Facebook/Meta has decided, you know, we're going to remove this thing now with this option where they allow developers to create this API hook. And now Canva, again, taking that example, will allow you to have this option, assuming Canva chooses to implement it, where, like, you know, I say, share directly to Reels and off you go. Now, remember, this is a feature that's kind of made TikTok very popular. So I'm glad to see that, you know, Facebook is adopting a feature that's going to really, you know, help creators create more Reels. And this kind of shows that Facebook is doubling down on short form video. Okay, that's all there is to know. Talking about copying features from TikTok, TikTok has this update where now if you are watching a TikTok live video, and you want to just like probably go out for a walk while you're listening to the video, you can actually do that because TikTok has enabled background playback. What background playback does is, like, you know, similar to what you have with YouTube Premium. With YouTube Premium, you know, you can minimize the window of YouTube or switch into another app, and YouTube will still continue to play the audio. Right. And I use YouTube Premium. I'm a YouTube Premium subscriber. So I love this feature because, you know, while I don't want to watch the video, what's happening, because I could just listen to it and I just kind of, you know, move away. So TikTok is bringing it into it. And I'm pretty sure Facebook is going to copy this feature sometime in the future. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Now, next up, moving away from Facebook TikTok world, is Microsoft advertising. Microsoft has announced custom ad customizers for what is it called? Responsive search ads. What's good about these ad customizers are that, you know, with, like, you know, small stuff such as custom attributes such as text, product names, description, product categories, inventory counts, colors, price, and interest discount rates. You can essentially take one ad and the AI behind the scenes will mix and match all these things and show your ad to, like, you know, thousands of people with different combinations and variations and things like that. So it's an open beta, which means anyone can participate. And obviously it's not public yet. So, you know, there expect some kinks, some errors and things like that. However, if you're in the Microsoft advertising world, this is something you should try it out. Okay. Talking about moving away from Microsoft into Google world, Google has introduced retail search for e-commerce sites. Google actually started the announcement with shoppers know what they want. Does your site search understand? So the good news over here is, like, you know, if you have a large, you know, website, or if you have if you're Target, or if you are, let's just say, Walmart, and internally creating a search is a big thing, right? And people do use the search function to search for products and things like that in intent wise. Now Google Cloud has this retail search where you can hook into it, and they will allow the Google whatever AI, Google understanding of semantics and queries, and be able to help direct things like that. So again, it's a cloud offering. It's not free, but I wanted you to know that if you have customers, or if you're into if you have e-com and you have a fairly large site, maybe you want to use Google retail search for your e-com site. That's all there is to it. Now, next up is, and probably, this next up is Google has updated their inappropriate content policy. What this basically means that Google has said, hey, in the past we were not very clear about what is allowed and what is not allowed, and they have a whole lot of lists. I'm going to cover them up in the high level, but if you are interested, you should click on you should go visit the show notes page, and you will find all the details there. So for example, what they have on the list is dangerous or derogatory content, sexually explicit content, compensated sexual acts, child sexual abuse imagery, mail order brides, adult themes in family content, shocking content, sensitive events, animal cruelty, hacked political materials. And what Google is saying that, hey, you have till June 1 to go back and clean up your crap. If you have anything that fits into these categories. Now, under each of these categories, there are subcategories and descriptions of what they are and what it means and what you can and cannot do. And it's quite a comprehensive list. It's impossible for me to cover all of them in this podcast, but I wanted to bring it up because if you're in the Google Ads world, you want to definitely make sure that you are staying away clear of these things, because Google has said, hey, we're going to give you a warning, and within 7 days we're going to ban your account if you don't fix it. And if you don't fix it, and you don't want to be banned by Google. That's all I can tell you. So folks, just go ahead, and if you think you're in the gray area, double check and make sure that you are not having anything inappropriate, because Google is going to really drop the hammer. The other thing that Google did this week is Google has said, they're going to add this recycling attribute in Google Business Profile. Google Business Profile was previously known as Google My Business, because they're saying there are a lot of people who are searching and for this recycling attribute. So we're going to allow you to specify that, and if you're a small business that recycles or that has some recycling things, you can actually specify that, and you will probably this will probably help you to get higher search traffic. Now, talking about Google My Business, Google has announced, and this is not actually an update, but this is something I want to kind of piggyback off of this update, is that Google My Business update, Google My Business app is going to be retired very soon. Google has sent out this announcement, and obviously we all know why, because Google retired the Google My Business brand name and they moved into Google Business Profile. So they're going to basically come up with a new app called Google Business Profiles. That's all. Lastly, for this week is that Google's John Mueller has come out has reminded us during his latest office hours session that, hey, it's great that, you can create AI generated content, but, remember, again, this goes against our guidelines, which basically means that, if you have any AI generated content from any of these websites that has AI based engine that can create content. One of them is, I think it's called Jarvis, which obviously they got sued by Hollywood and they changed the name to something else, but it famously used to go by the name Jarvis, which is AI content stuff. Says stay away from it. Now, yes, John Miller also said that we don't have the capacity to actually find out. We don't have the capacity to find out what is AI generated and what is not. But if we do suspect it, then it's going to go to a manual reviewer. And if it's something verified, or if they think this is AI generated, they're going to, give you a manual, what is it called? Let me see. They're going to take a manual punishment. What basically that means is that manually, and what they call manual punishment is if the human actually reviews it work and think, oh yeah, this is AI generated or it goes against your guideline, they're going to basically de-rank you and de-index you, and you don't want that. Now, on the other side, on the flip side, there are some crappy writers out there, right? Like Probably I'm in that boat. I don't write very well. So I do not know if my writing is going to be generated, is going to be considered an AI generated content because it's not great. I do not know. I really do not know. This is a slippery slope. It just remains interesting to be seen how this thing unfolds. So what I'm saying, folks, is here before I sign off is that if you're using any AI generated, tool to create copy, make sure you just do not directly copy paste. Change it a little bit, spice it up, make it sure that there is some human touch to it, and then maybe the AI generated content can actually be helpful to kind of guide you what to write and what to write, but you have to polish the rough edges, and I think they will be good. Okay, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Now you know everything to be in the know. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week. It was a pleasure to serve you all. Hit the subscribe button so that you remember to sign on next week. Same place, same time for another round of This Week in Marketing.